Thank you, Julie. That was beautiful. Good morning, and welcome to Unitarian Universalist Church West on this beautiful day in Brookfield, Wisconsin. My name is Deb Stevens, and I'm excited to serve on your board of trustees. This is my first time as board rep during our Sunday service, and I'm grateful to be with you today. As we gather, we begin with gratitude for the privilege of living, learning, and worshiping on lands that have been home to indigenous peoples across many generations. We honor their enduring presence and the rich history that continues to shape this place. At UUCW, we strive to be a community where everyone is welcomed, valued, and embraced. We affirm and celebrate people of every sexual orientation and gender identity, including those who identify as gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, queer, and beyond. As an anti-racist faith community, we also recognize that racism, anti-Semitism, and other forms of oppression continue to harm and take the lives of Black, Indigenous, Jewish, and other people of color. We remain committed to the ongoing work of justice, equity, and compassion. To our friends and family joining us virtually, we're so glad you're here with us this morning. Whether you are here in this sanctuary or joining us from afar, your presence is a true gift. Wherever you are in life's journey, whatever your age, the color of your skin, your gender identity, your beliefs, or whoever you love, know that you belong here. You are welcome, you are valued, and we are grateful you are here with us today. Now, before we begin our service, just a few housekeeping notes. Children and youth are invited to go directly to the lower level for our summer Hands-on Nature program. The nursery is also available. If you find that listening comes more easily when your hands are occupied, you are warmly invited to visit the exploration table located to my left. If you're visiting UUCW for the first time or would like to learn more about our community, we'd love to connect with you. You can fill out a blue information card or stop by the newcomers table after the service or visit uucw.org and explore the newcomers section. And now here are a couple of announcements to highlight from today's bulletin. Summer destination services take place in July and August. Please see the link for the upcoming dates. And our annual picnic is next Sunday, July 5th, beginning at 11 a.m. Bring your own protein for the grill, beverages and a chair or blanket. Salads and desserts will be shared. Also, I sent a form requesting perfect weather. Let's see what happens. Now let us settle in for today's service, Flourishing Together.
Good morning. She said it was a beautiful day outside. It is, and then the next 5 are going to be. Make sure the AC is all working. Our call to worship today is To Pause on the Journey by Linda Hart. Every day is a new start, every year a beginning, or so we'd like to believe. And we don't know, can't anticipate where we will go, what will happen, what delights await, what heartbreaks will tear us open, the paths unexpected that open before us. Even knowing that we live our lives in particular ways, focus on particular moments, incline our attention to what is in our hearts and lives and hands to offer. We know for sure that ours is in the going, finding what is on the path and off, in giving and creating what we can. We come here amidst the discoveries and delights, the worries and woes, to find a moment of connection, to pause on the journey, in gratitude and sorrow. It is good to be together. Ready, Deb? Now Deb will light our chalice for us. Please join. The words are in your order of service. A chalice lit in our midst is a symbol of our liberal faith, a faith built on the foundation and freedom, reason, and tolerance, a faith sustained by acts of kindness and justice, a faith that visions a world flourishing with equality for all her people, a faith that demands the living out of goodness, a faith that requires thoughtfulness, a faith of wholeness. This tiny flame is the symbol of the spark of all this within each of us. And now please rise as you're willing and able, and let's join together in song, hymn number 6, Just As Long As I Have Breath.
Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I made my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dream and in my dark, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love.
My name is Steve Frey. I'm a member of the worship ministry team. My pronouns are he, his, him. What a neat day to be out. It'd be great if it would continue. Ours is a welcoming community where we find connection, a spiritual community where we find meaning. Ours is a sharing community where our joys are amplified, a caring community where our sorrows are lessened. We take this moment to reflect on our joys and sorrows and acknowledge the mutual support of our community. In a moment, I'll ask you to come forward if you have a joy or a sorrow to share, and I'll light a candle for you. Be assured this only happens now live. It will not be recorded and later telecast to anybody else. After each candle is lit, I ask you to join with me in the words, "We hold you in love." Now please come forward. I'd like to light a candle. Our thoughts with Venezuela. That's inconceivable. We hold them in love. May we remember those who have spoken, those they have named, and those we hold in silence in our hearts. we hold them in love. And now please rise as you're willing and able to sing together. Hymn 123, Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
I was working very hard trying to come up with something that would summarize flourishing. That's a big word. But the worship web that we have for Unitarian Universalists is an amazing resource. And I go to it periodically and just kind of read through things. And I stumbled on something the other day that just knocked my socks off. But I put them back on, so we're good. It's a sermon that was delivered by Marilyn Sewell in 2015. Marilyn is a writer, a leader, an activist, a public speaker. She's a minister emerita of the First Unitarian Church of Portland, Oregon. She served as senior minister there for 17 years before she retired. She has edited or authored 10 books. Her latest is a memoir, Raw Faith, Following the Thread. As I said, this was written in 2015, so please forgive my reading, but I think you'll find it as fascinating as I do. Reimagining the American Dream. The early settlers who risked life and limb to come to this land, a land strange and unknown, but full of promise. These early settlers had a dream. The dream included freedom to worship as they wished. It included the opportunity to prosper if they were willing to work hard. It included the possibility of owning their own land, plowing their own field, not being the landless servant or serf they would have been in the old country, where class systems were rigidly enforced and your life was absolutely locked into place by your rank and by your birth order. Although this dream promised much to the individual, it was also a dream grounded in holy covenant with God and with one another. Hear the words of Governor Winthrop, given even before his people disembarked from their ship to set foot in the promised land. He said, quote, "We are entered into covenant with this work. We have taken out a commission." And he continues a bit later, "We must be knit together in the work as one man." 2015. "We must entertain each other in brotherly affection. We must be willing to abridge ourselves of our superfluities for the supply of others' necessities." And then he moves to the responsibility of this new settlement to the larger world. "For we must consider that we shall be as a city upon a hill. The eyes of all people are upon us." A statement of manifest destiny. We shall be a shining example to the rest of the world, a moral light that will guide others into ways of mercy and justice. The date of this was 1630. This was an amazing dream, the political piece of which was further articulated and refined in a document which came 140 years later, a document which made a heretofore unimaginable claim: all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. All people have precisely the same rights. Unheard of. This was the American dream. Granted, all people did not fall under the purview of the dream at that time. Women did not. Slaves did not. Men who did not own property did not. Native Americans did not exactly get a fair shake. But the ideal remained, and through the centuries, we have worked to enlarge the scope of that dream. We've had some successes, of which we are rightly proud, but the essence of that dream has been shaken and changed. What has happened to the sacred covenant of ourselves with our God and ourselves with one another? What has happened to that noble experiment, to the country that was to be as a city upon a hill, leading other nations to righteousness and to justice? We are a nation where freedom has now been interpreted to mean that the strong don't have to care for the weak. We are a nation that stinks from corruption at the top, a nation which dresses itself in God language while pandering unashamedly to the rich and ignoring the poor. We are a nation hated and reviled by many other nations and grudgingly tolerated by those who would count us as friends. We are far from that city upon a hill, that moral compass for other nations. Rather, we have decided to build empire, that a few might flourish at the expense of the many. Now, with our economy in shambles, with greed and corruption so apparent to all, we have fully awakened to the hard truth that easy money helped us avoid for so long the economic system that we thought was sound, that could always be fixed, turned out to be a house of cards, a chimera based on false premises and inflated profit sheets. The good news is that we have come to a point of reckoning. We have had forced upon us a time of reflection that carries with it the possibility of radical change. I say radical change because radical means from the root, and no amount of shifting or tweaking will do when there is no solid core. Our problems turn out to be rooted not so much in economic malfeasance as in spiritual decadence. We have come to understand that the story we've been living by the cultural narrative is defunct. I refer to the cultural story of the nation, ostensibly about bringing freedom and democracy to all the world in truth, about building empire. But I am also referring to the cultural story for the individual, that which defines middle-class goals and aspirations. It's all about competition and getting mine. It goes something like this. You work on your resume starting about age 2 or 3, get into a good elementary school, get into a good high school, go to a good university, make right decisions, graduate, get a good job or a series of them, get married, buy a nice house, have 2.3 children, work hard and consume a lot, buy toys and things like that, get old and die. This is not a dream worthy of our lives. This will not render a life that will model anything worthy for our children. The emptiness of it will become apparent as these young people reach out for meaning in a society in which parents serve an economic system that no longer serves them. A system no longer grounded in communal and spiritual values. There is no bailing out a system that is ungrounded in relationship, bereft of moral principle. We have to build from the bottom up on new ground, new premises. Economics, as I see it, is fundamentally a moral discipline. Economics defines our material relationships with one another. That is, who gets what of the resources of a society, and economics defines our relationship with the natural environment. What are we exacting or extracting from Mother Earth? And for what purposes? When we tell our children, starting in their very first year, we say, now, Johnny, you have to learn to share. That's economics. Or we say to our 2-year-old, let's recycle that juice box. That's economics. The problem with economics as it is treated academically and in the business world is that ethical and moral issues are often left out of the conversation. After all, economics is a science. Was it John Kenneth Galbraith who said that if you put all the accountants in the world end to end, that would be a good thing? We use formulas, we measure, we predict, and moral issues cannot easily be figured into the equation. Maybe not, but we should consider that the most important things in this world are the things that do not yield easily to the scientific method. The movement of socialist and communist systems toward free markets is correct. They need feedback because complex systems cannot function well without various dependable feedback loops. But a major error of neoclassical economics is its over-reliance on only one form of feedback. It looks at prices and markets and little else. Social and environmental costs are excluded. But unemployment and underemployment are feedback. Global warming is feedback. And economies seized up by fear, that's feedback too. Economists had taught us to reify the economy or make it seem like a system of rules and regulations that are real and tangible. A system delivered from on high, a system that just is like air or water and is not amenable to change. But the system has been imagined by human beings on assumptions made by human beings. And it can be changed by human beings. So let's take a look at the values that run the country's economy and our lives at the moment. I think we'd have to use words like profit, production, efficiency, consumption, creation of capital. Now let me make myself clear, there's nothing wrong with these words. It's just that they are not ends in themselves. They should exist to serve the common good, to serve human health and well-being, to ensure the care and sustainability of our earth. There are important questions we need to ask. Does our economic system exist to serve families? Or does our family structure exist to serve the economic structure? Why should both parents have to work out of the home? Why do we have so little interaction with family members, not even eating together in many cases? Not at my house. Are social structures arranged to bring generations together or to pull them apart? Do work structures exist to support parenting, the building of community, the work of citizen activists, or for the efficiency of the economic machine? This economic meltdown will help us begin to ask the right questions. And so will the peaking of fossil fuel, which is upon us. When oil is no longer cheap, and that time will come again and again, our economic life will shift dramatically. We will be more and more focused locally. We will eat more local food, trade with small businesses close at hand, find ways to work that are more amenable to family life instead of commuting miles each day. We will walk and bike and use transit instead of drive. We will not fly thousands of miles away from home to meetings or to vacation 3 and 4 times a year. We will live closer together and we will share more of ourselves, more of the time. We will mend instead of buying new. Some of us urban dwellers will weave and knit and plant and grow. Change is already happening and more will come. This is one of those rare openings in which the scales have fallen from the national eyes, and it is clear to almost everyone that the emperor has no clothes. The good news is that we will now have the opportunity to reimagine the kind of economy we want, the kind of life we want to live. We need to take advantage of the moment to reimagine, to reform the American dream. It's not that people don't understand that we have a problem, pardon me. It's that people have had their imaginations drained out of them by the constant barrage of messages they receive about consuming. And they've had their energies drained by jobs that have longer and longer hours and less meaning. But the people need leadership. You know, I think of the old Chinese blessing, may you live in interesting times. Our generation has a mission, a clear and evident one. We have a compelling moral purpose which can direct our lives and our energies. Literally, we are about saving the world. So what is our part? The place to begin is at home. That is, with ourselves. Notice what is life-denying and resist it. Just say no, for your sake and your children's sake. Live with the moral authority that comes from compassion and nonviolence. Form communities of people who will sustain you in living as you wish to live, whether they are study groups or alternative living arrangements or socially responsible, sustainable businesses. Our churches should be central gathering places for such community. Now we structure our lives to serve the economy. What would an economy look like that was structured to serve the people? How would you like to live? Make it happen. You and I belong to a growing segment of the US population already over 25, with an exception, who embrace a new culture that values diversity, stewardship of the environment, economic justice, and civil rights for all. They say that roughly half this number combine these beliefs with some form of spiritual practice. They call these people the core cultural creatives. Interesting. It is from these folks, folks like you and me, folks that populate Unitarian Universalist churches, that the new story, the new cultural narrative will emerge. I'm not sure of the exact words you will choose or how you will put them together for your story, but some of those words might be love, service, kindness, joy, presence, peace, integrity, stewardship, covenant. These are religious concepts, and this is the beloved community that we are building. I was intrigued by these words of an East German dissident, Rudolf Barrow. He said, "When the forms of an old culture are dying, the new culture is created by a few people who are not afraid to be insecure." I started thinking about us as Unitarian Universalists. This is who we are. We're not afraid to be insecure. We're not afraid to search, to go deeper, to find the truth, even when the truth is unpalatable. We are seekers who want to live out of that truth, not some kind of made-up world that might be more momentarily comfortable to live in. Unitarian Universalists, though small in number, can be the yeast in the loaf. Let us, however, be wary of the usual distractions and follies of our movement. It's grown-up time now. We no longer have time for petty quarrels about how religious our language should be, or no time for conflict between the humanists and the more spiritually inclined, no more time for squabbles about who is in charge. The mission of the church is not about meeting our needs. The mission of the church is about healing our world. It is about giving ourselves to something larger than ourselves. Ironically, when we give ourselves in this way, we find that our deepest needs will, in fact, be met. The idealism that caused John Winthrop to say that we have a special destiny and that destiny is to be as the city upon the hill is not dead in this country. I see it in certain young people who are quietly living in a way respectful of the earth. I see it in many creative people who have a vision way beyond the popular mind. I know that wherever the human spirit is willing to join with that larger spirit, that new dreams can be dreamed and whole nations can be moved. Whoever thought the Berlin Wall would come crashing down? But when the time was right, it came down. Whoever thought that Nelson Mandela would get out of prison after 28 years and lead his nation? But in time, it happened. And Marilyn discusses, she says, "I grew up in a North Louisiana area in the 1950s in a small, totally segregated town. I literally never saw a black man in a dress shirt. Who would have guessed that I would see an African-American president in my lifetime? An African-American president with a cabinet replete with women and people of color. The time is ripe for a great turning once again. I am convinced that what is life-denying, what is repressive and false, will be known as such, and people who are basically good will follow a new way. Let us be some of those who step out and lead, who dare to once again be the light that blesses the world. Amen.
UU Church West's Split the Plate program is one of outreach and generosity. Each month we give half of all undesignated offerings to a nonprofit organization to help us live our Unitarian Universalist values, pursue the goal of social justice, and serve our community. Our partner for this month is Ezekiel Hope, homeownership, partnership, and employment. You may see folks from Ezekiel at community events such as Training for the Future, Tools of the Trades 3.0 Career Fair and Luncheon, the Community Resource Fair Block Cleanups, and the annual Juneteenth Day celebrations in Milwaukee. Their presence is felt in communities when Ezekiel trainees go into Lindsay Heights residence homes to conduct electrical safety assessments. The trainees correct these hazards with oversight of a master electrician at no cost to homeowners. Or check out their website to see photos of completed homes ready for home ownership. You can support the work of the Ezekiel Hope by dropping something in the offering basket, or go to the UUCW website's Donate tab and select Split the Plate from the menu provided. Or you can text or mail your donation using the information found here. We thank you most sincerely for your support.
Please join me in reading the offering dedication to the work of this community, which is to ground ourselves in love and joy, and to act for inclusion and justice. We dedicate ourselves and these our offerings. And one more time, if you would rise as you're willing and able, and let's sing together hymn 331, Life is the Greatest Gift of All.
Life is the greatest gift of all the riches on this earth. Life and its creatures, great and small, of high and lowly birth. So
Our closing words today, as many of you that know me pretty well, one of my all-time heroes is Fred Rogers. And he says there's 3 ways to achieve success. 1 is be kind. 2 is be kind. And 3 is be kind.